Alright, YouTubers, this is my 2000 F-150. I'm going to replace the AC compressor clutch bearing. The clutch seems to be good. I'm not going to replace that. You know, a lot of people will when they do this job. I'm not going to this time. We'll see what happens. Let's get under here. Check this out. Now, I diagnosed it already. It was making a funny metal bearing sound. I don't know how else to say it. So you're going to have to remove this skid plate. It takes a 10mm bolt, or the socket for the bolt is 10mm. Through here is your easiest way to access the snap ring holding on the pulley itself after you remove the clutch. And the clutch takes a 8mm socket. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. Let's get it in here. There's the AC compressor. I gotta take that, see that nut in the front, or the bolt in the front, middle there, I gotta take that off. I believe it's a 10mm. It just doesn't seem to be that easy to get to. So what I recommend for anyone doing this is to turn the vehicle on, turn the AC on. That'll lock the clutch in gear, and then you can loosen that bolt in the middle. Then turn the car back off. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll pause the video. Okay, so I got the center bolt out. There's an 8mm socket, just a little tiny bolt. Alright, put it somewhere it's not going to get lost. Next, you're going to want to take off the serpentine belt, as you can see down in there. What I ended up having to do is I had to put a screwdriver down between the two nubs there, and then break the center bolt free to get it off. So if you can see here, that's where we're going to put this 1/2-inch breaker bar down in here. And use that, all right, to loosen the serpentine belt. Take the serpentine belt off, that pulley at least, so you can back it all off. Okay, now with the belt tensioner loosened, you can pull the belt off. All right. Let that thing fall out of the way. Oh, it came right back, didn't it? Alright. You're going to want to pull the clutch off real slow, because there's little spacers in there, and you need to know how many there are. So I'm going to tilt this slowly up and out as easy as I can here. Alright, let's take a look at it. Clutch looks pretty worn. Looks like it was only holding in one side. Maybe I'll replace it. Didn't want to, but maybe we'll just give it a good cleaning. We'll see. Now, I don't know if you can see, it looks like there's spacers in there, but I'm not exactly sure. So we're going to be extra careful when we go take a look in here with this camera. So let's take it off my stand here and poke it in. Alright, so you can see the end of the shaft there. That's where the spacers would be. They're going to be sitting there. Alright, and that's your mating surface of your pulley. Alright people, it's getting dark out here. Took me a while to figure it out, but there's a snap ring. Let's get it over here on a shaft inside
like that. There's a shaft. Forget amps. The snap ring was hard to get lined up with the snap ring pliers, but it worked. You know, it worked out. So you take the snap ring off, and then this is just on there. It's not that, it wasn't that hard to get off, but you got to wiggle back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, jiggle it to get it off the shaft. I used a little screwdriver and just kept wiggling with it, and it came right off. As you can see, that bearing in there, it's missing all kinds of bearings. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna press it out with a socket out through here, down that way. Okay, and then I got a new one from AutoZone. It was 15 bucks. I'm gonna press the new one in there with another socket and clean this up real good. Clean up the clutch, put everything back together. Should be good to go. Okay, there it is with the new bearing in it. Now there were some little ridges. I don't know if you can kind of see where they were. Kind of locking the bearing in. I don't see why they would need to be in there if it were pressed in the first place. I mean, if this one pressed back in, no problem. What you want to do is you want to hit it out this way with a socket. I don't know why it's not autofocusing here. With a socket or something that would fit that outside circumference of the bearing, outside race, and then push it out that way, and then push it back in this way with the outside bearing. Make sure you have that nice lip. See that lip there? And then it's flush on the inside. Alright? Clean it up before you put the thing in there. Put the new bearing in there. I'm going to whip this down real quick. It looks pretty clean, but you want a nice good mating surface for when that clutch catches. You want it to work. Alright, so I'm going to put this back on, put the snap ring back on, clean everything up, put the clutch back on. As you can see, this clutch looks pretty messed up. And then tighten her all back up. I gotta look up the torque spec. That'll be in the description below. And test her out. Alright, here we go.